Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Royal Instinct. Today we're going to be doing a reaction video to Volksgeist, the YouTube channel Volksgeist. They released a video this week called the Epstein Files, and we are going to be looking through those. The reason why I chose this video is because it was funny. I saw the video come up on my feed, and then I decided to load it up and watch it later. By the time I think it was the next day, it was already on my browser, like on the tab. When I click on it, for some reason the video disappeared, like literally like 6-7 hours later, and I was like, oh, that is strange. Anyway, I forgot about it. And a couple hours after, Volksgeist released another video where he said that video got basically not deleted, but it got some sort of strike on it against it, and it got taken down by YouTube itself. And then and it was because he believed it was the people who he mentioned within the video, the powers to be, trying to hide something under some false pretense. Maybe another time, maybe tomorrow or something, we'll look at his video to see what is going on in the background. But the video, he was able to basically load it back up, and then he managed to edit one piece of information on it, I guess. I don't know, and he managed to get it back up, and then I decided, you know what, this might be worth looking into. Not just by myself. I'll look at my first reaction with you guys to see what is going on. Okay, I mean, that must be some powerful stuff, because Epstein is all over my feed at the moment. On Twitter, wherever you go, people are reacting to it. People are captivated by it, which also makes me kind of realize it's like, they're sort of drip feeding information out to us slowly, because the scale of it and the people it implicates is so vast. I mean, this week alone, I think yesterday, Hillary Clinton had to give a deposition on her dealings with Jeffrey and Ghislaine. And we are trying to get to the bottom of it. What was going on? What is the reason that a guy like Jeffrey Epstein, a powerful guy, managed to become a billionaire, right? And managed to infiltrate the circles of the elites. Okay, many people say he is a Mossad agent. Many people say he is a CIA asset. Let's go into this documentary to see what is going on. Let's try to get the facts away from the fiction. I know I watched like maybe the first 5 minutes of it, and I know I put Elon Musk in the thumbnail because Elon Musk is discussed in this documentary, in this YouTube video. And apparently he was trying to get on the island, right? Like, he is trying to whitewash his own reputation, saying that he never ever went there, never met with Jeffrey Epstein, doesn't know who he is. But there does seem to be some credible evidence linking him back to Jeffrey. Elon, what were you doing? Were you on the island? Were you trying to get on the island? Let's see what is going on over here.
On Christmas Day in 2012 at 6 in the morning, Jeffrey Epstein, who's just gotten out of a county jail where he had been serving a 13-month sentence, gets an email out of the blue from one of the richest men in the world. It reads, "I've been working to the edge of sanity this year, and so once my kids head home after Christmas, I really want to hit the party scene in St. Bart's or elsewhere and let loose. A peaceful island experience is the opposite of what I'm looking for." 2 months later,
so whoever this guy is, he does not want a peaceful vacation. He wants a hardcore party. And apparently Jeffrey is the guy to hook him up. Let's carry on.
Later, he emails Epstein again, asking which night on the island would have the wildest party. In return, Epstein offers to send a helicopter to bring him. That man was Elon Musk, and many
Well, there you have it, folks. There is credible evidence. There is an email sent to him that he was looking for a wild party. Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein was renowned for throwing the wildest of parties. He was renowned for being the go-to guy to party, because he always had women around. He always had people that he, wealthy people, connected people, and apparently these parties were private, very exclusive. That is why he had his little island, so he could do things that maybe weren't allowed to in the United States. Okay, this is a place, this is something above what normal people are allowed to witness. This is above what normal people are allowed to see. And well-connected people, hear about these stories about Jeffrey Epstein throwing these wild parties. Bearing in mind, like he just said, Jeffrey just got released from his first arrest. Um, you know, early in the 2010s, 2014, I think he said, right? But yeah, that was his first arrest, and so people already knew what this guy was on, yet they were still willing to reach out to him to party with him.
Many years later, now the richest man on earth, he would tell the world, publicly, disgustedly, in his own words, Epstein tried to get me to go on his island and I refused.
And this is what you have to understand is like the elites are able to pay to whitewash their behavior, to whitewash their evil deeds, the past, basically, to whitewash the past, to look you in the eye and without flinching tell you what actually happened, compared to the facts, right? Because their truth will prevail. They have the money, they have the funds, they have the connections to erase all their wrongdoings, all the wrong pasts that they have committed, the crimes that they have committed. Um, and now he's coming out saying that Jeffrey tried to lure him onto this island, but there is an email evidence where he begged to go, right? Asking specifically for the wildest party, right? And here on Raw Instinct, what we are doing is we are exposing the truth. We are exposing the evil lies, the evil people who are in charge right now, who are steering humanity down the wrong path, who are steering humanity into a place where it shouldn't really go. Okay, and AI is a big factor in that. And Elon Musk has his fingers in, Grok AI. He has his fingers in developing AI. And if you speak to the people who are in charge of bringing us this technology, they have no idea where it will lead us to. They have no idea what will happen once this technology is unleashed upon the general populace. And most people are unaware. Okay, like think about it. Most people are so busy with jobs, with their children, with life, right? With their nagging girlfriends, that they don't have time to sit down and really calibrate what is going on. Okay, they're kind of just led down this path. There's other people within the government, within the people, the leaders of these technology companies, who are really making huge decisions, right, which will have ramifications that you and I don't even know about yet. Okay, but I imagine that those ramifications will lead humanity to a place where, we don't want to be at. Okay, like for example, AI has the potential to displace a lot of people out of jobs, a lot of people out of the um to increase unemployment all across the globe, right? You might end up unemployed, because of AI. Would you do, right, if 80% of the population of the world, right, so that's 8 billion people, are unemployed? Okay, what would they do with the time, right? And many people say, oh, it'd be a great renaissance where people are able to pursue hobbies and passions. But most people, you give this type of power to people and they have no means of making money, and they are dependent on people, on the state to provide for them. It can lead to a dark path, right, where you are totally reliant on the state, where you aren't able to do whatever it is that you want to do, right? So, which means your freedom is kind of stripped away from you. Okay, and what these people want, right? And again, we mentioned it yesterday that the leader, the CEO of the World Economic Forum, let me put it up here. The president and CEO of the World Economic Forum, Borge Brende, has resigned after the World Economic Forum, launched an independent investigation into his relationship with Epstein. So again, the World Economic Forum, which I am very weary about, which I am very worried about, right, where you have these people meeting up and having secret meetings in Davos, Switzerland, making decisions, on where humanity is led to, right? Or what type of demise are they trying to lead us down? Okay, my theory is that they are leading us to a place where they want us totally reliant upon the state. They want you in their 50-minute cities, as outlined by the World Economic Forum in their Agenda 2030. that they want to strip you of your power. They want to strip you of your of your sovereignty, of your autonomy, right? Your ability to make decisions by yourself. They want to take that power away from you and just feed you a diet of slop, of fear. You know, they want you connected to the algorithms where they want to force feed you what you see, what you believe. They want to program you and manipulate you in a way so that you can be controlled, and um they want to gain all your resources away from you. They want your time, they want your ability, they want your attention in order to serve their agenda. Okay, and you have to realize that, you know, that most people won't know that this is even happening to them, right? So most people aren't even aware that this is happening. Most people won't believe you if you tell them and point out to you what is going on. um but I'm somebody who is awake. I'm somebody who can see what is going on. I can see where we are headed, and I refuse to play and participate in the elites game, which is why I am leaving the current game and I am establishing my own system. I'm establishing my own game. I'm establishing my own way of life here on Raw Instinct. And my mission is to signal to you there watching, if you understand what it is that I'm talking about, if you understand what I'm saying, if you share similar sort of values to me, that you want to escape and come up with something of your own, if you want to establish your own kingdom, so that you are safe for when shit hits the fan, so that you are safe for when the elites try to push their powers over onto you, that you are safe, that your loved ones are safe, that there is a place on this earth that you could retreat to in order to um, be out of the reach of these evil elites. Then you need to crown yourself a king. You need to become a king. You need to establish your own kingdom, which is what I'm doing here. Okay, I am sending out a message to the people. I'm sending out the bat signal. I am sending out a message to assemble the Avengers. Okay, and that is what the world needs right now. They need more heroes. They need more people who are willing to take that risk, willing to make the change that the world needs, to bring about the change that the world needs, to bring about a new life, a new way of living, a new way of seeing the world. And the way that we do it here on Raw Instinct is I am looking for 100 people to join me to establish 100 kingdoms. And you get to set the agenda, you get to set the rules, you get to be in charge of the decisions that are being made. Okay, we will be the new elites, we will take over away from these evil people so that we are the people who get all the advantages, get all the prosperity that is going their way. We divert it towards us. And you know, when you have 100 people that you can fully trust, 100 people that you have your back, the 100 kings, the 100 amicis is friends in Italian. That you know, you get to be a part of the amicis, where we come together, and you know, you have a group of people that you can really trust, that have your back, that you can truly rely on. When you have a group like that, you know, life is easy, life is good. Okay, you are safe, and you know, the people that are there will help you achieve your goals. The people that are there will have your best interest in mind. But let's carry on with this documentary.
He wrote, I had very little correspondence with Epstein and declined repeated invitations to go to his island or fly on his Lolita Express. But Elon Musk was lying, and he was not alone. For years, the friends of Jeffrey Epstein have been in a battle to prove their innocence. Who had known him only as a rich financier, and who knew his darkest secrets?
I never went to the island, I never met any women, and although the time,
You know, and Bill Gates is someone who really advocates to, you know, he really pushed for the vaccine in 2020 during the lockdowns. He was a big proponent of making sure that you take the jibby jabby so that you are somebody who is vaccinated to keep other people safe. Okay, but you know, do you trust a guy that also knowingly went to pedo island, to pedo paradise, and partied with Jeffrey Epstein, caught an STD, right, off one of the escorts provided by Jeffrey Epstein, and then begged for the medication, right, to give to his wife, okay, in order to make sure that she doesn't find out that she caught an STD, right? That is, how fucked up is that, right? Like, the guy drugged his wife without her knowing, so that he could get away with her not knowing that she caught an STD, right? Like, imagine she got the fucking chlamydia, or which kind of like burns your urinary tract, right? So he tried to drug her without her knowing, and he tried to get Jeffrey to get the the right medication to hide his infidelities.
It was a mistake. It had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Who had cut him off after he went to prison the first time, and who came right back to support him after he was released? Who knew exactly what he was and stayed in his inner circle anyway?
Did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. I have nothing to hide.
And so now, with 3.5 million documents from Epstein's personal computer accounts being released to the public, we finally have an answer to all of these questions. And the answer is, almost everyone stayed around him. This video is brought to you by Nebula, the only place where you can watch Mad Questions only gets bigger. We now know that the richest man on earth was begging to visit his island. We know that the former White House legal counsel was flying on his plane. That
White House legal counsel. So this implements sitting presidents. I imagine the Clinton administration. Obviously, Clinton was a good friend of Jeffrey. Following on from the Clinton administration, George Bush, is he implicated? Barack Obama, Donald Trump, there is ties to him, and Joe Biden, right? So these are people directly in the, how crazy is that, right? The most powerful position in the world, right? The US presidency, and people like several presidents, right? Like Donald Trump is mentioned in the emails, Bill Clinton is mentioned in those emails, and is known to have traveled to that island. And then possibly Barack Obama, possibly George W. Bush, possibly Joe Biden. And Joe Biden and Obama, Joe Biden was his vice president. Okay, so if it isn't far stretched to that every single president in the last 20 years, 30 years was implicated by had some sort of connection to Epstein.
the former Prime Minister of Israel appears in the files over 4,000 times. But even more important than who stayed is why. This isn't the same as people taking a picture with Epstein 2 times at a New York City party in the early 90s. This is different. We now know exactly who Epstein was close with, who he strategized and planned with, who he shared code words
Woody Allen, Rothschilds are all linked
with, and at the same time, the files also revealed that many of Epstein's crimes were far worse than originally thought.
Hang on, can we just I just want to stop it here. What the fuck is that tattoo? Like, what is that tattoo? That is the type of tattoo that, like, like a goth girl gets. like she's going through it, she's trying to be edgy. Like Jeffrey Epstein is a very, very cringe guy, right? Like he's got this smug face that you just want to punch anyway. It's this massive chin that's just waiting to be elbowed straight in the fucking face. And then like he like the other thing is like the guy loved getting hand jobs of like literal crack addicts. Okay, like the type of prostitutes that he used to get for when he was convicted, okay, were like these, it's obviously very sad, but they weren't like high class escorts. They were like literally people from trailer parks, people who were struggling in life, and he will get them to his Miami mansion and pay him to massage him and then get a hand job off him, right? Like, and that's how you used to recruit these women. And then he has this really weird tattoo on his fucking, like, this barbed wire, like fawns, like it's so random. It is so cringy. Okay, that is such a 90s, like, like edgy type girl tattoo, right? It doesn't scream, like a billionaire, does it?
These aren't pieced together from short quotes and photos. These aren't theories. These are their own words in their own emails, exposed by the United States Department of Justice.
And I think that is a picture of the brother of the current King of England, Prince Andrew. Okay, he is another person that is involved. He is another person that is incriminated by him, who supported Epstein, who considered him a very good friend. And that is what the elites are fucking doing in the background, right? They are getting away with murder. They are using their power. They are abusing their power to live above the law. Okay, they really are acting and living like the law doesn't apply to them.
And what it tells us about the world we live in is something that most of us already knew but couldn't quite prove, that there's a level of wealth and power in the world.
The other thing you have to realize is, right, like here they are showing a picture of Jeffrey with devil horns, right, a little shadow casting. Is Jeffrey the devil himself? You have to understand, he's not even the head of this organization. He is an agent for somebody else, somebody more powerful in the background. And you have to understand, who is it? Who is he reporting to? Is it the CIA? Is it the deep state? Is it the Mossad? Is it Israel? Who is he heading? Who is he acting for? Who does he report into? That is what we need to uncover. Okay, the buck doesn't stop with Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, this rabbit hole goes deeper and deeper and deeper to the real shadow players in the background,
where the rules simply do not apply, where you can plead guilty to sex crimes involving a child and then walk out of a private wing of a county jail a year later into a life that didn't change at all. We now know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the people who shape our laws, run our companies, sit on the boards of our most powerful institutions, invest in the things we eat and the platforms we use to talk to each other, those people are allowed to look at a man like Jeffrey Epstein, know exactly what he is, and decide that he's not a problem at all. The Epstein files aren't just a record of one man's crimes. They're a mirror held up to the people who control our world. And what it's reflecting is that the system isn't broken. It was built this way, and no one's emails prove it better than the people who fought the hardest to keep them buried in the first place. But don't take...
And you have to understand is, like, the CIA, the White House still hasn't released the fully redacted emails, the Jeffrey Epstein files, and because they are worried that, oh, like, it is a matter of national security. I think at this point, the world, the American people, everybody in the world needs to know, like, who is involved, which companies are involved, which countries are involved. Okay, like, it is a matter of national security, right? The national security, right, is against the general population, right? Like, we deserve to know who is being protected, why are they being protected, who is incriminated, who is part of this cabal of disgusting children molesting people, right? Like, I can't even find the words to describe it. It's like, these are the most heinous crimes. Okay, like, they are taking innocent children, right? Like, it's not even like willing participants, if these women were, like, let's say 20 years old, you could be like, right, they come from a poverty background, they had no other choice, they were coerced into this type of work, they needed the money, but these are children taken against their will, right? Like, where they have no choice, no autonomy. Like, as a society, we protect children, right? Because children can't, they're not wise enough to make those decisions for themselves, and they are being exposed to these literal creepy 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old men to do the most dirtiest, degrading things that you can think of. I think, like, as a citizen of the world, like, I deserve to know who the fuck it was. I want to know who it was. I want them brought to justice. I want them stripped of any power that they have, right? Think about it. The power that they hold is greater than the normal people in every day that you will meet, right? And these people are being protected. Why? Because they hold the power, because they belong to a different class than you. This is why here at Raw Instinct, we need to band together good people who want to bring a new type of life, a new type of world to mankind, to humanity, to usher in a new age where good people get good things, get rewarded for doing good, okay? And the evil people need to be punished.
My word for it. Instead, let's look at theirs. Bill Gates, from 1995 to 2017, was the wealthiest person in the world. Before that, he was also the world's youngest billionaire during the 80s and 90s.
We're expecting to do just over 100 million this year.
And still, today, he's one of the top 10 richest men alive. And it's been known for a long time that Bill Gates and Epstein knew each other well enough for Gates to have flown on Epstein's plane and even have visited his island. Two things that have become this insane albatross.
Do you know what? And if it was just Bill Gates in isolation, like that's one thing, but it's not just Bill Gates, right? Then you have the next the current wealthiest person, Elon Musk, emailing him, right? You have the brother of the King of England, right? The current King of England, having a friendship with him. You have, I mean, Peter Thiel's name popped up earlier, right? Like another billionaire, another person linked to the PayPal mafia, friend of Elon Musk, linked to this guy, powerful CIA contractor. You really have Bill Clinton, head of the American, the former American president, right, and the current president as well is somehow a old friend of Epstein. It's like the circle that they keep is a very powerful elite circle, okay, and then they're all linked to this pedo, this person who is trafficking women, trafficking children, abusing children. It is a very odd thing to witness in real time, and I really think most humans, most people on this planet can't get their head around it. They can't actually fathom what the fuck is going on because the things that they are doing is so heinous and so disgusting and disturbing.
Around his neck ever since Epstein's death. When you read through these documents Epstein had prepared for Gates, though, I'll admit it looks like a pretty blatant attempt at blackmail. It's really easy to tell how Epstein knew exactly the reaction he was trying to elicit with every word he wrote, and for that reason, it feels pretty fake. To add insult to the injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD, you request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your penis. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to redacted, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us, and in return for all these requests, which I would have done without a second thought, I should continue to provide you the same level of service and dedication that I have done so diligently until you are ready to discard me and our friendship. Bill Gates, of course, absolutely denies everything to do with him.
Yeah, I mean that is a big claim made against Epstein, that it was a honeypot. Basically, like he will come and schmooze his way into these inner circles. He will befriend you. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm throwing a party," and there'll be like hot girls there, and they'll be like, "Well, I throw even wilder parties, on my private island." And then you attend these parties once or twice. You get laid. There's these hot, women, usually Eastern European women, Russian women, young, hot, attractive model types. You fuck them once or twice, and then you think, this guy's cool, man. Like every time I'm with him, I always get a fucking blowjob. I fucking get, I get laid with this guy, and nobody finds out, right? Because obviously these people in the public eye, and they get to do this discreetly. They get to discreetly, engage in some of their dirtiest, darkest fantasies. And then he's like, well, look, man, like, because you're so cool, I like hanging out with you. Now, this is Jeffrey speaking, because I like hanging out with you, bruv. Why don't you come Little St. James, right? Let's fly the Lolita Express. And then there's an even better party that I host on this little island that I've got. And the people like, yeah, man, like fucking running Microsoft is exhausting. Yeah, and Melinda's doing my fucking nutting. Let me come on your fucking island, right? And then they do a little vacation. Bill Clinton's there, Michael Jackson, not Michael Jackson. What's his name? Chris Tucker's there, right? Because apparently he flew on his island on his private plane. Music artists are there. Other influential people are there. Other famous people are there, and then the prince of the royal Prince Andrew is there as well. You're like, yeah, why not, man? I want to meet these cool people. It'd be fun. That'd be a fun hang, wouldn't it? That'd be fun to do a little barbecue, by the Caribbean Sea. Put my feet in the sand, right? Get top up my tan. Why not? Okay. And then next thing you're waiting for the girls, and they're all a bunch of fucking 12-year-olds, right? And then you're like, well, I took my fucking Viagra already. Like, it might as well go into something. And then, or I mean, what I actually imagine is, obviously I'm being facetious, trying to have a little goof. What really probably happened is, like, he probably stuck him in a room, drugged him up, right? Cocaine, methamphetamines, speed, whatever you want to call it, drugged him up, boozed him up, stuck a bunch of Viagra in his drink, and then made him engage in sexual activities with underage girls. You know, it is disgusting. And then he would video it, and then he'll blackmail you basically. The next morning, you wake up with a hangover, right? And he's like, "Oh, I need to eat something, I need to drink some water." And then the first thing he'll show you is what you were doing last night. And he'll be like, "Well, look, man, if you don't want me to show this video to anybody, you need to do as I fucking say, or this will get released and your whole reputation will be destroyed."
Epstein. He has for years, and he still does today. And hey, to be fair to Bill Gates, nothing else in the docs technically corroborates the outlandish claims that Epstein makes in his email. The only problem is that denials only go so far when your own family refuses to stand in your corner. While Bill Gates and his team were outright dismissing the documents as the desperate ramblings of a man who clearly was trying to hold him hostage.
I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Melinda Gates had her own story to tell. In a brand new interview on NPR's Wildcard show, Bill Gates' now ex-wife of 27 years described the latest Epstein document release as filling her with unbelievable sadness and reminding her of struggles she faced during her marriage. She would say, "I'm able to take my own sadness and look at these young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to them? At least for me, I've been able to move on in life, and I hope there's some justice for those now women." I don't think it would take a chess grandmaster to figure out what she means by that. But Bill Gates is only one person in an ever-growing, seemingly endless list of people who stayed in Epstein's life, shamelessly supporting him for years while they knew he was a pedophile the entire time. But Bill Gates wasn't alone. In fact, when it comes to the full picture of Jeffrey Epstein's social life, this is only the tip of the iceberg. And perhaps nobody illustrates that better than the man who spent 2025 loudly demanding the Epstein files be released, only for their release to reveal his own lies. Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, inventor and leader of companies creating brain-computer interfaces, electric cars, rocket ships, and more. He's also a longtime friend of Jeffrey Epstein. On September 25th, 2012, Epstein writes to Elon Musk, "If you find some time, come visit me on my island in the Caribbean. Bring your friend or friends." Musk replies, "Sounds good. We'll try to make it." For years following his arrest and death, Elon Musk tried desperately to distance himself from Jeffrey Epstein. In September of 2025, as the case began to rear its head again, he wrote, "Epstein tried to get me to go on his island and I..."
Imagine that. I mean, is that one of the reasons why he bought X? Is that one of the reasons why he bought Twitter? So that he gets to control the narrative? Is that one of the reasons why, because it doesn't make sense as well, right? He said he's done it for freedom of speech, but then, he is literally lying to the people of X, to the people of Twitter, to the general public, trying to whitewash, trying to correct any misinformation against his name when the email evidence suggests otherwise. It's all very weird. I mean, that's the kind of moves that you can make as well. Like if you think about it, like the type of money he's got, that he could literally buy a platform, a social media platform, and then tweet out, whenever he wants, and he gets to block and, shut down any accounts who speak up against him. Like that is a powerful move, man. If you think about it, right, that is a very, very powerful move that he gets to use. Against anybody who is trying to come up against him, trying to, anybody who's got anything to say against Elon, he can quickly shut them down because he owns the actual fucking platform that people can use to advocate, to speak out.
Refused. But as it would turn out, the truth would be nearly the exact opposite of what he had insisted for so long. 2 months after their first interaction, he emails Jeffrey Epstein to ask which day would have the wildest party on his island. He talks about wanting to let loose and have fun. And
I mean, like, is this how the fucking elites let loose? Do you get what I mean? Like, does it have to involve children? Like, can't you just get a bunch of hookers, like who there are enough sex workers who be willing, that they would love to go to a fucking Little St. James and have sex for money because they choose to do it, right? I'm not talking about women who are human trafficked. I'm talking about women, willing sex workers who want to do it. There's plenty of women who enjoy that type of work. Okay, we are not here against to demonize anyone who is involved in sex work, who enjoys sex work, consensual sex work, to specifically point that out. Couldn't they get one of those women Do you get what I mean? Like, does it have to be fucking these kids? Like, it is absolutely crazy. And
Asks if Epstein has any parties planned because he needs the opposite of a peaceful island experience. In return, Epstein offers to send a helicopter to bring him. Another email from the fall of 2013 shows Epstein inviting Musk to visit him at his house in New York and meet many interesting people around the time of the UN General Assembly.
And that's what he used to do. He'd be like, look, man, like, oh, like he'll invite like Prince Andrew, and then he'll tell this next person, like who's like maybe a scientist at Harvard. He'd be like, oh look, man, Prince Andrew's going to be there. It's going to be a cool company. You should come along. And then he was just this cool guy that would have access to all these wealthy, famous people, influential people, smart people, and then he'll be like, yeah, man, like you should come here. So and so is going to be there. We should come. We should hang out. We'll party. There'll be no press. You get to, there'll be hot girls there. There'll be models there. We'll make sure like you're taken care of. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And that's how he gained access to all these people. That's how he infiltrated all these top tier elite societies.
To which Elon Musk responds with a rant about how busy he is, before Epstein asks, do you think I'm retarded? Just kidding. There's no one over 25 and they're all very cute. Then a year
Oh my god, there's nobody over 25 and they're all cute. I mean, obviously, like you'd hope that those women are still over 20. Like, do you know what I mean? But there's like, I don't know, man. It's just knowing everything you know about the guy, that he was a pedo. When he says everyone's cute, you just imagine like a cute child, okay, right? Not like it's not like how a frat boy, right, or you and your buddies be like, oh yeah, that chick is cute, and then she's like a 21-year-old, 22, 23-year-old, model. When this guy is involved with pedophilia, right? Like literally, he is on record has been accused of fucking literal children. Okay, so when he says cute, it has a whole new meaning.
A year later, around Christmas time again, Elon Musk asks if it's a good time to visit the island. Even later on, they would email to coordinate times for Epstein to come have lunch and tour the SpaceX facilities with Musk, and even after that, they would talk more about Epstein's idea to expand Tesla distribution to Israel. Elon Musk's public reaction to these emails has been one of complete deflection and denial. However,
SpaceX and Tesla distribution to Israel, is it because Jeffrey had access to people in the Israeli government? Like, what was he a Mossad agent? That is what he is being accused of. That is what he is potentially a potential asset agent working on behalf of the Mossad, working on behalf of Israel.
His public statements do contradict what's in the messages. Elon Musk never refused to visit. In fact, he begged for invitations. He coordinated meetings. He invited himself, all while Epstein was a registered file sex offender who just got out of prison 3 years earlier. And here's what should really terrify you. While Elon Musk and Bill Gates may have drawn the most attention, perhaps because their hypocrisy is so shocking, perhaps because of their stature as two of the richest men alive, they are ultimately just a few names out of tens of thousands of very powerful people who continued working and socializing with Epstein even after the whole world knew exactly who and what he was. Peter Attia, best-selling author, researcher, CBS contributor and ambassador, and investor in rapidly growing protein brand David. Overall, charming celebrity doctor, media personality.
There's something interesting that I heard later on this weekend or next week. I'll be doing a video about Theo Von, and his current paranoia that he's going through, being exposed to all these wealthy elites, potentially being targeted by the CIA, because he's got such a large voice, he's got such a large podcast, he has such a large presence online that a lot of people are using him for his influence. And he's a guy who he's a stand-up comedian. He never wanted to be part of these conversations. He never wanted to have this much level of influence, but he just found himself in that space, right? And I like Theo. He is a funny guy. He has a unique and creative way of looking at the world, and is absolutely hilarious, right? But he said that somebody told him that in California that they're building like this new building was being built, and the first 10 floors are the international agency CAA, which is a literally like a celebrity top A-listers talent agency, right? Which many politicians, many like front-facing politicians, right, and many A-list celebrities, Hollywood film stars are signed up to, and then the 10 floors above it is all CIA. So you have CAA and CIA within the same fucking building. How deep does the CIA reach go that they can infiltrate all these A-list top tier celebs? Okay, it is very interesting and fascinating.
Known around the world as an expert on aging and longevity. But when you search his name in the Epstein files, he comes back almost 2,000 times. In June of 2015, 6 years after Epstein got out of prison, Attia writes him an email with the subject.
And Jeffrey Epstein was huge into eugenics, right? He obviously he's Jewish. He believed in his genetics being being a leader in the next phase of humanity. He had a ranch where he really planned on impregnating as many women as he can to have as many children as he can to raise and rule over the earth, because he kind of believed in that elitism. Whether it is strictly to Jews, who knows? Okay, it is more to do with his belief that his genetics were so superior that he wanted to make sure that there was a massive proponent, a massive mark left behind him with his children.
Got a fresh shipment with a now redacted image attached. Epstein replies with his own now redacted image. Attia says, "Please tell me you found that picture online." Epstein confirms that whatever it is in the image belongs to him, to which Attia responds, "The biggest problem with being friends with you is that the life you lead is so outrageous, yet I can't tell a soul." Over the years, Attia writes to Epstein about going through withdrawal when he wasn't seeing him. They would joke about the macronutrients in women's pussies. Attia would reach out to Epstein and talk about visiting his island. He would write, "Nothing like little St. James, I bet." Their emails even reveal a dark truth from Attia's personal life. In a book he wrote in 2023, Attia shared that in 2017, he had been so selfishly absorbed with his work while on a trip to New York City that he did not go home to be with his family in California after his infant son had a heart attack, ultimately only returning 10 days after it had happened. Meanwhile, he had been emailing with Epstein to organize a meeting during that same week. Just days after the files were released, Attia wrote in his apology tweet that in November of 2018, he read the Miami Herald investigative article about Epstein and was repulsed and nauseated. But even that was just another lie. In reality, after Epstein's crimes were re-exposed by the Miami Herald in 2018, Attia's correspondence with him only continued, all the way up until the spring of...
The thing what you have really questioned is after all this information comes out, right? Like, like when Israel invaded and started bombing Gaza and Palestine and the Palestinian people, like people were outraged and they were literally, marching the streets. They were letting their voices known how this is not right. Okay, I've never heard of any protest or march against the Epstein files, okay, against the release of all this information that these governments hold. Like there is no public outcry, okay, which really makes me think is like, are we just so numbed by this story, by what is going on, right? That, like, I know that people care, right? People care and they are worried, but nobody is going out to protest to try and get this shit released. They everything is more performative, everything's more to like everybody who, like, even me, like I'm outraged, but then like I'm not protesting it. Okay, is it just because we are all a little bit nihilistic and we're like, yeah man, that is what the elites do? Because I think I think that must be it, right? Because like some of them are like me. I mean, I'm not nihilistic totally nihilistic. But there is a part of me that is a little bit jaded about how the world is really run, because once you realize what is really going on, and that the only option is to escape the system, to start off a new civilization, a new system, new kingdom, which is what I'm building here on Raw Instinct. Apart from that, like, you can't be in the current system. Like, you can't be in the United States, you can't be in a European country, a Western country, and then try to bring about change from that system, because the whole system is corrupted. The whole system is has been infected by this disgusting virus of these elites, whatever they were fucking doing, right? So in essence, really, I think most people, the people who are really outraged, the people who understand what's going on, are just so jaded by it that there is no alternative, right? And the people who, like when most people just aren't really aware of what it really is. They just think it's just a few pedophiles, and Jeffrey obviously is dead, so there can't be any outrage on him. And obviously Prince Andrew's got arrested. I mean, I really think it is just the people who actually realize what's going on, who are smart enough to realize what's going on. I think they're just too jaded. Well, I'm here to tell you, to wake you up, that you don't need to be jaded, right? There are people like me, there are people like the people I work with here on Raw Instinct, to tell you that there is an alternative, right? And we are coming together. We are forming new nations. We are tapping into your life purpose. We are tapping into the thing that you are most passionate about. And we are building kingdoms around that subject. We are building kingdoms around your expertise, okay? And we are making sure that we know no fucking pedos are going to be allowed in our fucking sanctuaries. Let me tell you that, okay? Like, it is a crime punishable by death. And that is how it should be, right? And if you agree, if you understand what it is that I'm trying to do here, if you understand what it is that I am all about, reach out to me, man, because that means me and you got similar sort of belief system, me and you have the similar sort of values, that we would be perfect to work alongside each other, to have each other's backs, and to bring about change into this world, okay? We need to come up with a new country so people can escape to. They can come live on our islands, on our nations, under our protection, because the current leaders, the current people in charge right now, cannot be trusted.
2019, just before Epstein was arrested, Attia would continue emailing to check up on him. He would ask how he was doing in the wake of the article's release, making sure he was okay and that he wasn't taking it too hard. Clearly, he was not repulsed or nauseated enough to bring their friendship to an end. This is the pattern that emerges from Epstein's emails over and over and over. Prominent, powerful people knew exactly who he was and what he had done, and then they stayed in his circle anyway. Peter Attia is not unique in this. He's not even unusual. Honestly, despite everything I may be able to say about his lies and hypocrisy, he's a pretty minor player. Because the archive reveals dozens of others. Tech billionaires, Oscar-winning filmmakers, people whose names we know, people whose work we're familiar with and consume. And all of them tell the same story. We didn't know, we weren't close, and when we did find out, we cut ties immediately. But all of them are lying through their teeth. And so the question that just keeps coming back is simple. What the hell was in it for them? Why would these people stand alongside someone who was such a huge risk? And why are they lying about it now? And that tells you not just something about Epstein, but about what these people are. These people who run our companies, shape our politics, and build the technology and culture we consume every day. In the spring of 2012, Epstein was planning a trip to Paris, and during an email with a friend, he lets it slip that he's going with Woody. Woody, of course, being the 4-time Academy Award-winning, world-famous film director with 50 movies to his name, Woody Allen.
And this is a guy who slept with his own stepdaughter, who was underage at the time, and then later on ended up marrying her, I believe, and having children with her. I'm not quite sure about that, but he definitely slept with her. And I think they did. I think he did actually have children with her. He ended up marrying her, his own stepdaughter, who was underage at the time. It is crazy, right? Like that many people knew what he's about. And Scarlett Johansson even went on record to say, like, that she would. This was post his, allegations made against him. This is post all the information coming out. She was like, "Yeah, he's a genius. I would still work with him, whatever." Blah blah blah. These people aren't bound by the same morals that me and you are bound to. They don't live by the same rules, okay? They are literally the scum of the earth. They are the most vile people that you will ever meet. and they will do whatever it takes for them to gain notoriety, to gain power, to be seen in the public eye.
And then Epstein's friend asks if they're going for the pedophile convention, to which Epstein replies, I think philae is the plural. And Woody Allen, besides being a filmmaker, is also the man who began a sexual relationship with and later married his own ex-wife's adopted daughter.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. So he ended up marrying his ex-wife's adopted daughter, so his stepdaughter. Yeah, man, like, doesn't that just disgust you? Like, the fact that these people are doing this shit behind the back, and they're laughing in their emails. They're saying, "Are you going to the pedophile convention, by the way?" Ha 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 ha. Yeah, man, because they know that they're gonna go fuck kids on the fucking island together, and they're laughing about it. Like, I am so shocked that there is not a fucking march, right, down towards the White House, down, Downing Street, down near Parliament in the UK, anywhere in the UK, anywhere. Like, I cannot believe that there is not more outrage. There's not more boots on the ground. That the public are not outraged by this. I think because most people who understand what is going on are just too nihilistic. They're too far gone. That they're too jaded, too depressed to even fucking get out. But I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to tell you that there is a method. Me and you, we need to come up with something new. We need to do something about this. We need to give the people of the earth an alternative. We need to come up with something like a new way of life, a new land, a new place where we are insulated and isolated from these evil people, so that at least we know that me and you and the people that we love and care about are protected and not fucking influenced by these evil, disgusting pigs. Like literally, he was raping and fucking his underage stepdaughter.
Woody Allen goes on to appear in the files 7,000 times. They plan visits to Little St. James and Epstein's ranch in New Mexico.
Oh yeah, man. Like, oh yeah, Woody, man, come to the island. Yeah, man. Like, well, only if you got fucking if the kindergarten kids are taking their fucking yearly trip down St. James as well. Like, it is absolutely fucking outrageous that these people are still walking about, right? Not harmed, not imprisoned. That these people redact those, release the unredacted files right now. Right now, you need to release those files. We need to see who the fuck was fucking with Jeffrey Epstein, who was friends with him, who went to Little St. James. Bring those people to court, bring those people to justice. Why were you on his fucking island knowing that he's a known pedophile? Okay, I want to know right now what the fuck is going on.
They organize dinners in New York and Paris. Epstein gives him furniture. He coordinates with his wife. Woody Allen made movies. He has fame, influence, cultural capital. He's a highly respected artist. Really, he's one of the most beloved filmmakers alive. Critics praise his films. Journalists still clamor to talk to him. Actors want to work with him. He's received every award there is. But at the same time, he spent years scheduling visits to Jeffrey Epstein's island. And the fact that he was right there in Epstein's inner circle for years after the conviction, it tells you something that's deeper than just emails. It tells you that Epstein's world wasn't a shadowy conspiracy. It wasn't hidden. It was full of the same people our culture celebrates. His friends were directors with Oscars, scientists who stand on stage and give TED Talks and release best-selling books, politicians who decide our fate. These are the people we've been taught to admire, to trust, and to believe are the good ones in life. But they were all there and they all knew. And I think this is where the Epstein story starts to shift under our feet. It's stopped being about him.
And also, that, like, to be successful in Hollywood, to be successful in media, in film, in Hollywood, there's this big notion of you have to sell your soul to gain fame. In order to gain success, you have to sell your soul, right? That you've always heard this, right? Like, you need to sell your soul. Is fucking kids selling your soul? I mean, how can you have a soul after you committed that type of crime, right? How could you even have a soul after that? So, in essence, like, is it something more that they gain? Is like, well, if maybe like your agent comes up to you, he's like, well, look, man, if you want to advance, in this studio, if you want to make these types of films, you need to visit this island with this guy. You know, he's a fun guy apparently, and then you go visit him. You have to fuck some children, and in essence, you do sell your soul. Hanging around Jeffrey Epstein, being incriminated by him, if he is able to blackmail you, that blackmail. Think about it, right? Like, so even if you were drugged, even if you were not conscious during the act, right? And Jeffrey Epstein films you doing some illegal, disgusting, vile things with children, underage people. And let's say you were drugged during the act, okay? But the next day you wake up and you're told that this is what you've done. You're shown the evidence, and then he blackmails you, right? You have the decision to make, right? You can either then go to the authorities, turn yourself in, be like, look, man, it happened. He did drug me. He took advantage of me. He put me in this compromising position. And I did do this heinous act, right? You will get jail time. You will never work again. But I think you could live with a clear conscience, saying like look, you got tricked into doing something that against your will. But then you don't reap no benefit. You get no reward for what you did, right? For the abuse that you carried out. But most people stay silent. Most of these people stood like even if they were blackmailed, they stayed silent and they allowed him to do and have that thing over their head. Okay. And I think that's even worse. Right. Even if they turn around and say that they were blackmailed, that they never intended to do those things, that Jeffrey compromised them and got them into a position where it was against their will. It's like they didn't come out. Like if I was in their shoes, I would literally come out. I would be like, look, this is what happened. Put me in fucking jail, kill me, whatever. But like, you know, just to know that it's not going any further and expose the monster that Jeffrey was. Okay. That is what most people are missing.
And what he did, and instead he becomes this virus that spreads to everyone around him, until it spreads so far that the entire world starts looking different. Epstein didn't get away with anything because he was clever or even hiding at all. And that makes this not just his crime, but everyone's. Another person who appears repeatedly in Epstein's emails is Reid Hoffman, a tech entrepreneur from California who in the year 2000 became the senior VP of business development at PayPal, a position that would make him a millionaire after the company was sold to eBay a few years later. But then, along with other PayPal founders,
yeah, and PayPal was big because Elon Musk was part of the PayPal mafia, Peter Thiel was part of the PayPal mafia. So if all these rich billionaires, tech, you know, creatives, tech entrepreneurs who are all involved with this project at PayPal, creating PayPal, who tried to create the first version of Bitcoin. They were all involved with each other. It's great stories. I think people from PayPal, the PayPal mafia, then went on to start YouTube. So they're all intertwined, right? They are these really smart, intelligent people, or we're told that they are really smart and intelligent. And then they then venture off. They sell PayPal to eBay, make billions, and then they venture off and then branch off into all these separate different fields. And that they are literally like they kind of made the modern world. That is why the paper mafia is so fascinating to people. That is why it's so revered. And again, it's no surprise that this is the third person now being mentioned from the paper mafia being involved with Jeffrey Epstein.
And employees, he became part of the PayPal Mafia, an informal group of former PayPal executives known for their own massive success after they sold PayPal to eBay. This network includes the founders of YouTube, Tesla, Palantir, Affirm, Yelp, as well as executives from Reddit, Sequoia Capital, Square, and more. In 2003, he would then co-found LinkedIn and would grow it into becoming the world's biggest business-oriented social media platform, selling it in the end to Microsoft for over $25 billion. Today, Reid Hoffman sits on the board of directors at Microsoft, as well as having sat on the board at OpenAI for several years, among involvement in various other AI ventures, with a total net worth in the billions. He also happened to blatantly lie to the whole world about the nature of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. In 2019, after Epstein was first arrested, Hoffman went on record saying that he only ever met with him for the purpose of fundraising for the MIT Media Lab, where he had a position at the time. But it would turn out that that was not true, and he had in fact had many more.
I mean, aren't you just fucking shocked by the names that are being thrown out there? MIT, Harvard, Tesla, LinkedIn, Reddit, okay, Palantir. These are all companies, PayPal, I mean, obviously. These are all companies and apps, right? And things, infrastructure that you use on a daily basis, right? And to know that it is a bunch of pedophiles behind it, doesn't that worry you? Doesn't that shock you? Doesn't that disgust you? Do you get what I mean? Like literally, I bought something off eBay last week, right? I had to buy like I like these sneakers. These Jordan executives. I think they're the best sneaker ever made, the best Jordans ever made. But they discontinued them, right? And then luckily I was able to find a pair. This guy was selling them probably double the amount of what it was actually worth. I had to pay like $300 for it. I'm getting it imported from America. This guy's selling it. He has an untouched pair that in my size of my favorite sneaker, the Jordan Executives. But when I went to pay on eBay for it, it goes through the whole PayPal thing, right? So even me, right? I'm just buying my favorite sneaker. I'm not doing anything fucking illegal, right? But I'm still using something made by a bunch of pedos, people that were involved with Jeffrey Epstein, right? Like it is like you can't even escape it in today's society, right? Let's say you apply for a job, you use LinkedIn, right? It is like this guy here, Jeffrey Epstein's best fucking friend. Look, this guy, the fat fuck
meetings with Epstein up until less than a year before his arrest, as well as having visited his island for a weekend in the summer of 2014. In 2015, Hoffman wrote an email.
So the guy fucking running LinkedIn, coming up with LinkedIn, let's go for a holiday at fucking Jeffrey Epstein's island. Then you can't even escape it. Whatever you do, it is just absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely outrageous. And this is what my mission is. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to wake you up. I'm here to tell you that there is a opportunity for you to do something else, to do something new, to bring about a new way of life for people. But you have to be the decider. You have to decide that you want to change the world, that you want to take that risk to do something bold, because the way the world is running right now, it is absolutely disgusting. It is not going nowhere. And it is down to you, right? Do you want to stay a NPC in the background, hoping and wishing things will change? Or is this the point in the film where you decide to go on a mission, to go on your journey, a hero's journey? Do you want to be part of the Avengers? Do you take heed? Do you take the call and answer the bat signal that I am signaling out here? The choice is yours. If you understand what it is that I'm doing, if you understand what it is that I'm saying, that you need to reach out to me, let's link up, let's talk to each other, let's let me help you get rid of any negative thoughts that you have, in order to clear out any negative thoughts, any self-doubt, any fears that you are holding in your head, to unleash the full potential of your brain, of your charisma, of your soul onto the world, in order to usher in a better and new way of living. But that is it for today. Thank you very much.